Let's discuss the limiting reagent. So that is the last concept. We are going to discuss about some basic concept of chemistry. What is that limiting reagent? Suppose you know that any reaction which is going to be carried out, so all the reactants should be equal proportions or in the same proportions. I mean, in a chemical reactions, if all the reactants are available for completion of the balanced reaction, there must be equal quantities of proportion must be there, right? Then only we are going to say the reaction may be completed. I mean, no other reactants which are remains unreacted. Suppose in one reaction, if I am going to take very small quantities of the reactant, what happens? So what happens that reactant which will completely reacted, but what about remaining other reactant? Because in order to maintain any one reaction, two reactants minimum will be there, right? So what happens? One reactant if I take smaller quantity, one reactant if I take a higher quantity, what happens? This reactant which is going to completely making involved in the reaction, but what about this higher reactant which remains unreacted? So that is, we are going to call the topic as limiting reagent and excess reagent. According to definition, first we see here the reactant. I mean reactant in a reaction that is completely consumed. That is called limiting reagent, right? If the reactant is not completely consumed and left over at the end of the reaction, that is called excess reagent. So when I come to your kitchen, it is very easy to understand this concept. Okay, if you are going to prepare rice for one person, so how much ratios of the rice and water is required? So if you take the one glass of the rice, okay, you are going to use 2 glass of the water, then only you are going to prepare the rice for one person, right? If I take place, instead of 2 glasses of water, I take excess, that is called 4 glasses of water. What you are going to call that one? That 1 glass of rice is going to called as a limiting reagent, and 4 glasses of water you are going to add, that is called excess reagent. What happens that type of reaction? So that type of reaction will completely collapse. So like this, in our daily life, we are going to use the limiting reagent and excess reagent. So let's see here. I take one more further very simplest reaction. So if I am going to take the two reactants A and B, that gives rise to product called AB, right? Here I am going to take 1 mole of reactant A, that is going to react with 1 mole of reactant B. What you are going to get the product? That is 1 mole of the product only. If suppose if I take 1 mole of reactant A and in the B reactant, how much I am taking? I am taking 5 moles of the reactant. What you are going to expect in the product formation? That is nothing but A reactant has only capacity to react with B with only 1 mole, right? What is the remaining of these 4 moles? That remaining 4 moles I am going to call as excess reagent. That is called excess. It is called excess reagent. And what about this 1 mole? This 1 mole is called as limiting. 1 mole is called limiting reagent, and remaining 4 moles which are going to call as excess reagent. Like this, we are going to calculate the limiting reagent and excess reagent in our daily life. It is very important to study here. So based on this simple explanation, I take one more example. So that is called zinc sulfide. How is zinc sulfide is going to form? Zinc, the metal which is going to react with the sulfur, which is going to form the zinc sulfide. So we know that atomic masses of zinc is nothing but 63.5, right? Atomic masses of zinc is 63.5 and sulfur is 32, its atomic masses. Then only we are going to get the product as zinc sulfide. Okay, I mean 63.5 gram of zinc which is going to react with 32 gram of sulfur, then only we are going to get the product as zinc sulfide. What happens if I take 63.5 gram of this zinc and less than 32 gram of the sulfur? If I take 30 gram or 28 gram, like this. If I take 63.5 gram of zinc, if I take sulfur as less than 32 gram of that, what you are going to expect? I mean sulfur which is going to take place in the reaction completely, but zinc, some of the zinc which may be remains unreacted, because the equal proportions will not be there. This is 63.5, it is 32. Less than 32 means what happens? The sulfur is going to be consumed completely, but this will be remaining unreacted. So this G is called excess and sulfur is called limiting. So like this we are going to follow some reactions. Like this we are going to understand. And one more thing, I am going to tell one very important trick how to find out the limiting reagent. That is very easy. If in an examination, if asked about the limiting reagent in any competitive, I tell the tricks how to remember and how to find out the excess reagent and limiting reagent. Let's see some problems, then only you can understand. Then how to find the limiting reagent? So these are the very 5 important tricks or rules. If you know these rules, we can find very easily about the which one is limiting and which one is excess reagent. Okay. So first rule says that write the moles of the reactants and products. So in a reaction that contains reactant as well as product, right? So if the mole has given, first we should write down the each reactants moles and product of the moles. So first we should write down. Second one, write the stoichiometric coefficients. Stoichiometric coefficients nothing but suppose if A, that is if you see this reaction, here the stoichiometric coefficients are here 1 and 2 and here 1. So these are called as stoichiometric coefficients like this. So our second rule says. In third rule, divide each mole of the reactants and products by its stoichiometric coefficients. Okay, in the reaction, if they have given the moles, then it should divide it by its own moles of the reactant which has the stoichiometric coefficient. We should divide that one. Okay, let's see that. And the reactant which gets a very least value, which is going to called as limiting reagent, and the reactant which gets more value, it is called excess reagent. So if you know these rules, 5 rules in your mind, then you can solve very easily which one is more limiting and which one is excess reagent. Let's see here. So here the reaction is will be there. So let's see the problem. 6 moles of A react with 30 moles of B. Calculate number of moles of C. Calculate the number of moles of the C in a given equation. So this is a given equation. So reactant A, which is going to react with B, that contains stoichiometric coefficient 2 and C, like this, right? So first, what is our step 1? Step 1. Write the moles of the reactants and products. So how much given in the reactant A? That is 6 moles. What is the B has given? B 30 moles. C you should find out. And what is our step 2? Write its stoichiometric coefficients. Step 2. Stoichiometric coefficients. Reactant A means so beside nothing will be there means that is 1. If B has given 2 and 1. Because C has given, right? So next, third step, divide each mole of the reactant and products by its stoichiometric coefficient. That is third step. Third step is 6 by 1, right? 6 by 1 divided by this moles, we should divide by stoichiometric coefficient. Then it becomes 6 by 1 is equal to 6 and 30 by 2 is equal to 15. And this moles has, you don't know, right? You should keep it as this. Then what is the fourth step? The reactant which gets least value, that is called limiting reagent, and the reactant which gets more value is called excess reagent. By looking at this one, you are going to tell that so this will be the limiting reagent and this will be the excess reagent according to the definition. Least value. So among 6 and 15, this is the least value, and here more value is 15. So this is called excess. And this is called limiting. So by now these 5 rules, we can find out the limiting reagent and excess reagent. Then what is our aim? Calculate the number of moles of C. Calculate the number of moles of C. So in order to determine the calculation of this product, we should find out the which one is least. We are going to take consider. So like this. So okay, we have find out the step 4 and step 5. Then how to find out the product moles? Suppose Na, number of moles of A divided by its stoichiometric coefficient, right? 1, that is equal to Nb. Nb stoichiometric coefficient 2, that is Nc, which you are going to calculate here, right? So you should negate this one. Why? Because it is excess reagent. We are not going to consider the product which is going to consider by the reactant that contains the limiting reagent, right? Na. What is the moles of the A? 6 moles. 6 divided by 1, that is equal to, you are going to find out this one, NC. Okay, moles of the product C divided by 1. What is the answer? Answer is NC is equal to 6. I mean, the number of moles of C we are going to get as 6, because this reactant, this limiting reagent, which is going to decide the product moles. So that is called how to find out this type of problems. It is very easy to understand. Let's discuss this problem. For the combustion of sucrose formula is C12H22O11. For the combustion of sucrose plus sucrose formula plus 12 oxygen, which is going to give us to 12 times of carbon dioxide plus 11 times of the water molecule. So has given the values from 10 gram of sucrose, has given the 10 gram of sucrose and 10 gram of oxygen, which is going to react to make this product. So he is going to ask which one is the limiting reagent. Which one is the limiting reagent? So when you look at this, our rules first says that step 1 we should write the moles, but it has not given in the moles, right? It has given in the grams. Then first we should convert the gram into moles. So first we should convert into moles. How to convert this one? So it has given the gram, right? 10 gram of the sucrose has given. In order to find out the moles, what you have to do? You have to take this mass divided by its molar mass. So like this. So first I am going to take this sucrose C12H22O11. So its mass is given, that is 10 gram divided by its molar mass. I mean molar mass, molecular mass both are same. So you are going to find out this one. How you are going to find out this one? Carbon has a 12, right? And its atomic mass of carbon, one carbon is 12. So 12 into 12, it becomes 144, right? Plus H22, it is nothing but 22 only, plus oxygen. Each oxygen contains 16 atomic mass. 16 into 11, it is going to get the 176. After upon this denominator, you are going to add, you are going to form it as like this: 10 gram divided by 342 gram per mole. When you add this one, you are going to get 342 gram per mole. This gram has cancelled. So after this division, 10 by the 342, we are going to get the value as 0.0293 mole. 0.0293, something will be there. 0.0293 mole. We are going to get the this carbohydrates, that is sucrose. We are going to get the value as 0.0293 mole. So what is the remaining? We are going to find here oxygen. Oxygen has given the 10 gram, that should be divided by, and you should look at one thing, its gram and its atomic mass. Oxygen atomic mass how much? Oxygen, that is 16, right? But here what will be there? You should not look at this coefficient. Only look at about this oxygen. 10 gram of this oxygen and its molar mass means its molecular mass. Each oxygen contains 16. Here what will be there? So 62 is 32 gram per mole. So after this calculation, we are going to get the value around 0.3125 mole. 0.3125 mole. So now we are going to follow the rules. Our first rule says that we should write all of its moles, right? So first we should look at this first bracket, that is carbohydrate, that is sucrose, has given the how much? 0.0293 mole of the one reactant. Second reactant oxygen, we got the 0.3125. You should not look at this product because he has not asked for the product. He asked only which one is the limiting reagent and which one is the excess reagent. So first step is writing the moles in the given form. Next, second step, we should write its stoichiometric coefficients. So sucrose, what is this coefficient? Behind this, beside this sucrose has not given any value, means that is simply it is 1. Then oxygen, its oxygen has given 12, right? So third step is we should divide the each reactants of the moles divided by its own stoichiometric coefficients. So you should divide this one, 0.0293 divided by 1 means it gets similar 0.0293 only. So after this division 0.3125 divided by its stoichiometric coefficient, you are going to get the value as 0.0264. We got the 0.0293 for this one sucrose, that is carbohydrates, and 0.0264 for the oxygen. Right? So what is our step 4? Step 4, we should find out the limiting reagent, and step 5, excess reagent. So first limiting reagent means you should compare the least value. Which one is the least value? Whether 0.0293 or 0.0264. Cn first 0.02. 0.02 is common. Next digit is 9. Here 6. And which one is more? So this will be the very less, and this will be the more. So first the limiting reagent is 0.024, nothing but oxygen, which is contains the limiting reagent, which is the limiting reagent. And what about this sucrose? This sucrose contains the excess reagent. Excess reagent. So like this, based on the 5 rules, we are going to find out very easily. It takes around 2 minutes only. Find out the which one is limiting and which one is the excess limiting reagent. Excess reagent. Let us discuss with the last example. So aluminium reacts with chlorine gas to form the aluminium chloride. So given 34 gram of aluminium and 39 gram of the chlorine, but he has not given the equation. Let us find the equation, and along with we should balance that equation. So first, what is the aluminium? First we should get the aluminium, right? Then with the chlorine gas is expressed as Cl2. What we are going to get? So that is called aluminium chloride. Aluminium chloride means AlCl3, and aluminum means 2Al, right? So what is the balancing? Now it is going to be balanced. So 2Al, 2 chlorine, and here 2, that is 3Cl2. So this is the balanced equation of this equation. Then our step 1 says that before going to step 1, because they are given in the gram, so we are going to find out in terms of the mole. So first we should convert into moles. So first one, aluminium how many grams? 34 gram, and its molecular mass, that is what molar mass we are going to find out. What is the molar mass of the aluminium? So that aluminium has atomic mass is 13 grams, and its molecular mass will be 26.9, that is gram per mole, and this is given gram. This gram is cancelled. Okay, remaining I write, and we should find out this chlorine gas means, so chlorine has given 39 gram, and its mass means this is molecular mass means, because this is a chlorine gas, right? Chlorine gas means, so one chlorine contains the 35.5, so it's nothing but 70.96 gram per mole. So after this calculation, this gram is cancelled, and this gram is cancelled. So we are going to write this 1.26 mole, I think surrounding values 1.26, and its value will be 39 divided by 70.96, around 0.55 mole will be there. We should follow the rules. Our first rule says that first we should write the moles of the each reactant, right? So aluminum has given the how much? 1.26 mole has given, and its chlorine gas 0.55. We need not worry about this product because he is asked only limiting reagent. We should find out the limiting reagent, right? 1.26 and 0.55. That is, we should write the stoichiometric coefficients of this aluminum is 2 and chlorine gas 3, right? Then our third step is we should divide by mole divided by its stoichiometric coefficient. So that is 1.26 divided by 2 and 0.55 divided by 3. What you are going to get the value is, it is 0.631, and this is 0.183 something will be there. So by looking this one, we are going to find out the fourth and fifth, that is which one contains the least value, that is called limiting reagent, and which one contains the more value, that is called excess reagent. So here this is called limiting. Chlorine gas contains the limiting reagent, and this aluminum gas contains the excess reagent. So like this we are going to solve the problems based on the rules. So that is very easy to understand these problems.